Good morning, Robert Scribbler here filming from a remote location for the OBX wave report today. And let me adjust my camera a little bit. There we go, I guess so. Okay. And I'm gonna give you guys a comprehensive review of wave conditions ranging all the way from Virginia Beach down to Frisco, and a report on the tropics because the tropics are going pretty nuts right now. As I said before, I'm here remotely in the mountains, but I will be heading back to Virginia Beach tomorrow. So we will be back for an afternoon, evening wave report in Virginia Beach, and we'll be back in the water on Tuesday for the East Coast Surfing Championships. So brief hiatus from the beaches, which is why I'm here in this setting. Okay. So looking at the wave monitors right now, starting at Nags Head, well actually let's start north. Starting at Virginia Beach, we've got 1 foot and semi-glassy conditions with an east-southeast swell of 1 foot in 8 seconds. Winds coming out of the east-southeast at 5 miles per hour. Air temperatures 77 degrees Fahrenheit, ocean water temperatures 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And at Nags Head right now, we've got 2 foot and fair conditions with an east-southeast swell at 2 feet and 8 seconds, and an east-northeast wind at 8 miles per hour. Air temperatures 80 degrees, ocean water temperatures 77 degrees. Heading on down south to Rodanthe, we've got 2 foot plus waves, slightly choppy conditions, southeast swell at 2.2 feet and 9 seconds. Winds right now out of the east-northeast at 11 miles per hour. 80 degree Fahrenheit ocean water temperatures and 80 degree Fahrenheit air temperatures. And heading on further south to Buxton, waves drop off a little bit at 2 feet and choppy, southeast swell at 1.9 feet and 9 seconds. East-northeast winds at 12 miles per hour. Air temperatures 78 degrees, ocean water temperatures 81 degrees. And last of all at Frisco, 2 foot waves in semi-choppy conditions. Generally speaking, over the next day or two, waves are expected to recede a little bit over time, and then we're expected to get a bit of a northeasterly blow later in the day on Tuesday, starting on Tuesday afternoon, which is expected to pump up the swell in the 3 to 6 foot plus range from Virginia Beach all the way down to Frisco. So strong northeasterly winds coming in, and I guess in some places near gale force, so with some rather large waves coming in as a result. Now let's talk about the tropics. Right now, we've got Hurricane Hilary striking the Baja Peninsula of California and Mexico as a Category 1 hurricane. And this storm is likely to cross into California today as a tropical storm and dump very heavy rain, possibly in the range of 5 to 15 inches in some locations, according to reports from the National Weather Service and the National Hurricane Center. Very dangerous situation out there in California, particularly from a flood perspective. Please stay safe and be careful and listen to your local emergency management folk and do what you can to prevent injury or loss of life. This is a nigh unprecedented event with a tropical storm heading into California, and yet one more event that has the fingerprints of climate crisis all over it. One of the reasons why we here at the OBX Wave Report are always asking everyone to do everything they can to help mass deploy clean energy, because we are in a climate crisis. Some people are calling it a climate emergency, crisis emergency. There's a subjective line between the two, but we're seeing worse and worse events as a result of fossil fuel burning, and that, as we have seen most recently with the Lahaina fires in Hawaii. All right, moving over to the Atlantic. The Atlantic is starting to go off like gangbusters. We've got 5, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 systems that the National Hurricane Center is now monitoring. All this data, of course, provided by the National Hurricane Center. The first is Tropical Depression number 6, which is east of the Caribbean, Windward and Leeward Islands chain. Right now, that storm is encountering strong wind shear and it's getting chopped up and they don't really expect it to last for more than a day or so. So Tropical Depression 6 is likely to be short-lived due to wind shear. The second system that the National Hurricane Center is monitoring is in the central tropical Atlantic. This system is getting very well organized and is likely to turn into a depression or a tropical storm today at some point. So Tropical Depression 7 or a new tropical storm, the sixth named or categorized tropical storm in the Atlantic hurricane season, if that does happen later today. The third system that the National Hurricane Center is monitoring is in the Eastern Caribbean Sea, right now showing a 70% chance of developing into a tropical depression within the next 48 hours. The fourth system, you guys like getting this here, is west of Florida, has a 50% chance of developing into a tropical cyclone in the next 7 days. This system is moving westward into the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of hot water there in the Gulf of Mexico. If it does develop into a storm, definitely something to keep an eye on. And last of all, we've got a new tropical wave emerging from the coast of Africa into the eastern tropical Atlantic. And that system's already looking relatively well organized for a new system coming off Africa with a 50% chance of developing over the next 7 days. So it looks like over the next week, the tropics might get pretty interesting. And hopefully none of these storms will be terrible or severe or have major impacts to the coastline. From a surfing perspective, of course, storms out in the ocean are pretty nice because it gives us the waves, but we don't really want to have our friends and fellows at risk because terrible storms strike the coastline. All right, so last of all, thank you guys for joining me for this session of the OBX Wave Report, and I'd like to ask you guys to, once again, please do everything you can to help speed the transition to clean energy and fight back against the climate crisis. Clean energy being wind, water, solar, electric vehicles, batteries, electrification to enable the clean energy transition, and efficiency to enable the clean energy transition. Rapidly deploying clean energy will replace fossil fuel burning, will lower those carbon emissions, will result in less damaging storms, less powerful heat waves, less intense wildfires, less sea level rise, and less damage to the ocean environment and ocean health due to ocean heat waves and ocean acidification. According to scientists like Dr. Michael Mann, we can do these things. We can stop the climate crisis, but we gotta act now, and we gotta deploy that clean energy fast, and then do all the other sustainability things that come after. All right, so thank you for joining me once again for this session of the OBX Wave Report. I hope you guys get out there and enjoy some great surf. Really looking forward to Tuesday, getting out there for the ECSD, watching the very skilled and talented athlete, artists getting up there on the waves and describing their art on the water, and look forward to get out there and doing some of it myself. Take care and talk to you soon.